Okay, guys. Um, Boy, oh boy, am I frustrated right now? Am I frustrated? As some people would say, they are furious. I am very furious right now. You guys might be wondering why my, DreamWorks reviews have been cut off so much. I actually did make an update video on that, but since I got it kind of straightened out, I don't know if I'll upload it or not. I don't know if I said anything else in the video or not. But I was getting ready to actually make an update on that, and then this happened. So apparently, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here. So I'll probably if I upload the video, I'll probably put a little time stamp in the title or something like that, so you guys can skip if you guys want to. But I need to kind of get this out of my way. I literally could not Okay, I don't understand this. I don't understand streaming, but this goes for all these damn streaming services. Why the hell are they making us pay for these streaming services if they're going to just not put all their damn films on there? Peacock does not have Trolls 3, neither does Netflix, which is where a lot of stuff's going, which again, Peacock, is owned by, Peacock's owned by Comcast, who owns Universal. And the same thing, goes with, Disney, and Disney Plus and all that, Paramount Plus. There's actually a Halloween episode of Tough Puppy I wanted to review, and I cannot review it. I couldn't review it last year either because I didn't know it was gonna disappear from Hulu and go to a whole nother platform. I'm like, why are we paying for all these damn streaming services if they're gonna do this? It just feels like a freaking ripoff. Now, I guess I've talked about this in the past, and I was afraid all this was gonna happen, but even their popular movies, the fact that even their popular movies, are doing this shit, this just shows you how bad streaming really is. So what I had to do is I actually did not want to pay for it, so I was thinking about just holding it off. But then I decided to go to the library. I wanted to go to the Fulton Library and check the library out because I've never really been to there before. And I've been wanting to go for a long time. But I've had some issues and all that with, my dad and the dog, and can't really stay up here. There's not really anywhere for Chef to go up here right now, but yeah, that's kind of the problem there, because I actually had a copy of this movie, because it came with the other packs too. I didn't want to buy it that way, but I did. It got kind of lost at my dad's house, because I'm basically moving out of his house, because I kind of got fed up with his, bogus at times, especially with the dog. So when I was moving out, and grabbing things I could not find. I'm sure it's somewhere at the house, but because I'm doing these reviews, I don't have access to the movie. So when I did all that, and I could not find it. So I actually had to rent this movie at the library. Luckily they didn't charge me for it. They didn't charge me for it. But I was like, I'm like, I'd rather just be able to rent it for a couple of weeks, not have to worry about it at all. So I rented it and all that, and yeah, it was a freaking disaster to get through. It was a disaster just to get to being able to watch this. This is kind of why, though, I'm kind of wanting to end this stuff. Of course, I'll be doing the Disney movies too, because, well, I got access to most of them. But after that, if I do Nickelodeon movies or shows or something of any kind, I am done. I am gonna just do them randomly, because this is just a pain and I hate it. I hate it so much. That said, though, ranting aside, hopefully this movie will make up for it, because, the last Trolls movie was not my favorite. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it either. It was very mid. So hopefully this movie, will make up for it. And I have to say, this movie actually was much better than Trolls 3. Or sorry, Trolls 2. This movie was so much better. Like, it was so much better. Poppy was not as unlikable in this movie as she was in Trolls, 2. And all that. And, I really like the songs in this movie a lot more. And, I don't think it goes as hard with the animation and colors as the last movie. But I'm fine with that. As long as it looks good and they actually tell good stories, I'm fine with that. So apparently, they kind of, they basically, go through this whole thing where, apparently, we see, oh, I forgot its name already. He's the grumpy, troll. He's the grumpy old troll, and he's basically talking about his past and all, because we get to see a little bit more of his past. I'm sorry if I don't remember their names. I probably should have wrote it down, but I've been so just busy and all that. Like, it's just been a disaster. But yeah, trying to get the stuff straightened out. But it's going through. It's just a slow process. But I'm gonna be busy tomorrow too. So but the names aren't really important. You guys can watch the movie, itself if you want to. But basically what happens is, he has, we see a backstory with him. It starts off the movie where we see his backstory. Apparently he has a bunch of siblings. Ironically, they're all the same gender, which are brothers. He has a lot of brothers. And apparently Poppy has a sister in this movie too, which we actually do see. We do see Poppy, have her sister in this movie too. We do see her. And like I said, Poppy's not really super annoying, but Poppy is kind of just going with everything. She's kind of got that, hype and all that, your positive energy. I will say though, on the grumpy troll, he's the gray one, the one up at the top there you see, he's I will say he's still he's kind of a pushover a little bit, but I don't think they go as bad with him as they did before. They did make some jokes, where he's was showing off a map, and then they kind of ignore him, and then they show off the same map he was showing off, and I kind of hate that trope in cartoons where they gotta make, there's a lot of tropes I hate in cartoons, but that's one of the major ones, is, they gotta make one of the characters a punching bag, and I hate it, but they don't do it that bad in this movie, and, I do like that we have the other villains, because we have, this movie, we get to see the villains of, I forgot what they were, but they apparently are stealing, the trolls and all that, not to eat them this time, like those other creatures, but, which, by the way, do actually appear in this movie, which I like, because they were absent in the, the last movie. And I told you guys, I don't like their designs that much, it kind of look ugly, but, honestly, I kind of like seeing them in this movie more, that they play a bigger role and all that, and I like that. And actually, they even get married, the king and all that get married, it's really nice, but yeah, basically, the villain, in this movie here, because Poppy, or not Poppy, Poppy and her friends are trying to go rescue, all the brothers, because they have to free him, and apparently, they steal their magic. And I like how they're also siblings and all that in a way. Now, I don't think they're as memorable as the villain in the first movie. I think she's more threatening, but I definitely like them a lot more than the Rockstar villain. I think she could have been, they could have done way more with her if they had more time on her on screen. But we see a lot more of these, of them doing stuff and all to the trolls. Actually, interestingly, too, when they get defeated, they get arrested. Yeah, they get arrested at the end of the movie. Which is something, I did not think existed in the Trolls universe. I didn't think there were jails. Especially when we see, in the first movie when the old, hag, she got, instead of getting put in a dungeon or something, she got literally freaking thrown out. She got exiled from, those creatures, village and all, when she failed to bring the trolls. So it's kind of interesting to see there actually is a jail, but I kind of wish they explored a little bit more of their side of the area, but we do get to see a bit of it. It kind of gives me like a Hollywood slash, what was it? Hollywood slash, like kart racing, like Mario Kart, stuff a little bit. It kind of really does. They have like their roller coasters, and then we see all that. I don't know. It just kind of gives me a lot of those vibes, which is interesting. But yeah, I do really like that a lot. Because I think there's an area in Hollywood where people meet up, where a lot of celebrities will meet up in like limousines and all that. I've seen a lot of tropes doing it on cartoons. It's pretty interesting, but I don't know. It definitely kind of has that vibe a little bit, but also they're also on track and all that too. So it's like they're also doing a little bit more of a showing off their skills a bit. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's an interesting looking setting, but yeah, I do kind of wish we saw a little bit more of that. But But I don't know. But I will say, there's not really a whole lot I can say about this movie. It's kind of like the first one a bit, and the second one, it's gonna have a bunch of songs in it, but I do like, the message in it with the, treating your siblings like nicely. Unfortunately, not all siblings are gonna be nice, that's just kind of how it is. And I was worried they're gonna throw that freaking thing at the end of the movie, but they actually didn't do that. Because like I said, they got arrested, because the brother actually exposed himself, and the sister looked like she was pissed off at him, and then they got both thrown in jail. He was alright, but she didn't look like she was alright. Now, I don't know if there was any after credit scenes or not, because I when I was going through the end credits, I was trying to speed past them, but yeah, you're doing it on the Xbox is such a pain, but trying to fast forward to the end is kind of a pain, but because I was actually doing a reaction to this movie, too, and it was kind of hard to do it, because, when I have other people, at home, it's kind of difficult, to do all that, because I do better when people aren't coming in and out, and, Nolan was, coming in and out, and at one point he said something about, someone spraining their ankle. I don't know if he was talking about himself or what, I don't know, it was just weird, but he didn't come back, so I don't know, maybe he's talking about himself, I don't know, but, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I did do a reaction to it, but I had to, pause it a few times, but, I didn't, but I was trying to skip through the cutscenes, and yeah, the freaking Xbox, the freaking controllers kind of sucks on it, so, it's not like the PlayStation. PlayStation has a lot better, experience with that. But, I'm trying to think, what else there was, though, because I don't know, the reason why I bring up the end credits scene is because, sometimes maybe they'll reveal them in prison or something, but they usually don't really show off a lot of other things for sequels or something, but sometimes they will hint at a sequel, but, usually, not always. But I mean, the first movie did have one of those at the end of the credits, but I don't remember if the second one did or not. But I don't know if there's really much else I can think about talking about. I guess I can bring this up to you real quick. the dad too. By the way, did not tell Poppy. She has a sister. Not because not because of like thinking she's dead, but because he was ashamed of losing her. Like, I kind of don't really care for. I think the dad kind of in the movies he's kind of sorry. He's a sorry character. Like come on. Like, I mean, I feel like you'd have a little bit of concern about your daughter and all that. Like being lost and all that. But I mean, it'd be different if you thought she was dead or something. But I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. But besides that, there really isn't a lot else I can say about the movie. For the most part, it's actually pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a good. Yep. We're going to give it a good. Yeah, this is actually getting a good. And it's not going to just get a good, it is going to get a... It's going to get 120 points. Although I think I should have probably gave it 100 points, not 120. Just because, well, I think though the movie is good for the most part. I do have one major problem with it. Besides, again, the dad not really, I feel like the dad with the whole, sister thing and all, not really telling his daughter about her having a sister or, and all that, But the fact is, too, that, my biggest problem, though, with the movie, though, is that what makes it, I feel like, deserve 100 and not 120, is I think what I don't like about the movie is, they hint at the beginning of the movie that Poppy and, that troll guy, or the grumpy one, are gonna get married. However, they never do get married at the end of the movie. We never see it. I figured they were gonna get married. Unless it was an end credits scene, but I'm pretty sure I didn't see anything like it at the end credits. Unless I missed something and they actually got married, I don't know. I mean, I saw him taking her hand, but that was to dance, not to do all that. But I'm like, that's the thing, though. I kind of hate that they throw in that big, thing in there and then just completely dodge it by the end of the movie. Maybe to make it, save it for the fourth movie. We can have a Trolls, what do we need? Like a Trolls, we got a band together, a Trolls sing-along or something like that, or a Trolls dance party, I don't know, like a freaking... I don't know what they could do with a fourth Trolls movie. I mean, I don't know, like a bunch of singing trolls. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. They could do many things with it. But yeah, like I said, it's getting 100. I would say 100 points would be definitely better. Just a heads up, sometimes that will change. For the most part, though, I don't think any of the score systems I've done, I mean, there might have been a couple of times, I don't remember, where I've actually, changed my mind on scoring. During a video. But usually I do it either, I've done it afterwards. I mean, redid a video or did it before. Here it's during, mid, more still at the end of the video. But yeah, I think 100 points definitely just, does that more because of that one thing. But even then, it doesn't take away the movie. But I will say, Trolls as a franchise, I think it looks very pretty, and I don't hate it, but I also like a lot of music, but also, I have to say sometimes I will say songs can take away from the plot a little bit, which is kind of, a thing that I feel like can kind of make this franchise a little bit, kind of hard to watch at times. I mean, I like the songs, I do. I mean, but I would kind of like a break, so that it's easier to kind of follow the plot. But for the most part, I think they do a really good job with the songs, And like I said, I'm somebody who loves music. I love me some music. But yeah, I will say sometimes, yeah, I do think, having a break from the tracks can make it a little bit, different. But that's what Trolls does. It's a different kind of, experience, and that's what's good about the movies. They try to do something a little bit different. We're not making it offensive or anything, because some of these movies try to make things offensive or something, or if it's bad, they'll blame people. I'm not really, saying any specific things. I'm just saying they can do that. So it's nice to have something, that is, something that kids can, watch and even parents can get into it as well. But I don't really hate this franchise. I think it's good. I just don't think it's as good as, like, Madagascar and all that. But it's still not bad. Like, it's still not a bad franchise, But I was definitely shocked, coming into this movie to find out that I actually really liked this one a lot more than the second one. I was worried it was gonna run its trope here at the end. But it really held on really well. I guess it just had a weak second, movie. Kind of like, in a way, kind of like Cars. Only I think this franchise is a lot more enjoyable than Cars. But Cars is like that too, from Pixar. Where the first one, well, there are a lot of people who like Cars and a lot of people who hate Cars. I was one of those people that thought it was in the middle. And then most people hate the second one. But do like the third one, it's kind of, and I think what I feel like with these movies, I think the second one's probably the weakest one, and I probably hate it the most. But I still felt enjoyment out of it. But where like Cars, I felt like the movies were not my favorite. I feel like these ones at least feel like there's a lot more to them, But I don't know. It's probably definitely one of my the weakest, DreamWorks trilogies. They have, but I don't know. I don't know what all trilogies they really have, because DreamWorks has done a lot of original movies and a lot of sequels. And speaking of sequels, we have a few that are coming up, and yeah, actually, most of them that are coming up right now are sequels. We're gonna have some original movies too, but we're gonna have a lot of sequels. And I don't really know how to feel about that, but it will be nice to kind of get to that. But we're getting close to the end here, so But yeah, the next one will actually be Chicken Run 2, which will actually not be a sequel. It will not be a sequel. It'll be a It'll be it'll be a sequel to the original Chicken Run, which was a DreamWorks movie, or they partnered up with it. The second one will not be, but I'll still review it just because. But yeah, there will be other sequels too. I'll be talking about too. But at this point though, yeah, I'm gonna probably just stop also at Megamind, or not Megamind. I'm gonna stop at The Bad Guys 2 as well. I'm gonna stop there, because after that movie, I want to take a break from all this. I figured I would probably stop at The Bad Guys 2. I mean, I could stop at the one after it, but the reason why I want to stop at The Bad Guys 2 and not there's a movie afterwards, is because well, it's kind of a sequel to the. I mean, I could do an original movie review, but I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of like, I already have it on DVD and all that, and I do want to take a break, because trying to do these reactions is kind of hard. So I'll probably stop, with The Bad Guys 2, because I hear that movie, I've heard people saying it's really good, but I don't know what it'll be about. It looks like there's a muscular Gerbo in it, though, so, yeah, I guess we'll see what that's all about. Or Gerbo, or can I pronounce? I used to be able to say well, guinea pig. We'll just call it a guinea pig, because guinea pig and gerbils are the same thing. But guinea pigs are so much better or easier for me to pronounce. But I know I'm doing a lot of talking, but it's been a while since I've done these, and I'm just giving you guys kind of a heads up where we're going with here. But we're almost done here. We're almost done. But once we get to 47 too, I'll probably raise the number again. I'm trying to think if I should just raise it, to the movie I'm gonna stop at, or before or after that. I don't know. We'll see what I'll do. But that'll be in the next review. Or actually, it'll be in the next couple reviews, because the next one will still be 47. But anywho, I'll see you guys all later. Anywho, bye bye.